Hi guys, Dorothy here, Professional Astrologer, and today I'm going to talk about January 2018, and we know it's a big month because we're beginning our eclipse cycles for the year on the last day of January, but we have a full moon on January 1st at 11 degrees of Cancer, completes a grand trine between we have Mars and Jupiter conjunct in Scorpio, coming to conjunct, and Neptune in Pisces. So this grand trine in water means we have a lot. It's just really coming to the surface. Full moons always show us what it is that we need to see. And so there is a collective emotion coming to the surface, and it could be just from holiday feelings and cheer, but it could also be really connecting to spirit and whatever it is that, in whatever practice there you go, that you might have in your spiritual practices, because this water energy is where we feel very psychic and when we know and when we're really tapping into spirit. So this full moon on January 1st, activating this grand trine in water, will bring us all to prayer, meditation, whatever your spiritual practices are. These are great things that we can do on a very mundane level. Again, a lot of emotion, since this is the full moon. It's in water and it's perigee, really close to the earth. So expect a highly emotional day on January 1st. Let's move on. The next thing I want to talk about is the Mars-Jupiter conjunction on January 6th. It's at 18 degrees of Scorpio. Now, over the last few weeks, as Mars has moved through Scorpio, the area that it has taken Jupiter since October to get to, right? And when Jupiter entered Scorpio, got to back up a little bit of history, we know that a lot of sexual abuse cases and things that were going on behind the scenes, very Scorpio energy, has finally come to the surface. Now, over this time period, once Mars catches up with Jupiter, which is on the 6th, we're really, up until then, so if you're hearing this before the 6th, we know that there would be an intensity, even more cases or more people, just more coming to the surface than ever. Mars requires action. Jupiter is opening up what we need to see and hear about, and Mars coming through Scorpio in its own sign, it requires action. And wherever you have the Jupiter moving through your chart right now, I've had it in my 6th house recently, so I had some x-rays and some MRIs and stuff like that, very Jupiter and Scorpio type stuff, just to check things out, you know. And it's all deep, penetrating things. And so where Mars is moving through your chart and where Jupiter is as well, this where some deep things are coming to the surface, so you're able to see what needs to happen, what you need to work on, and just go with that. Don't be overly concerned. Don't be afraid. Just take the steps. Mars in Scorpio, all the Scorpio energy requires that we really dig in deep to see what it is we want to work on for ourselves especially. And again, we'll see that out in the world in these cases. We may see things with the FBI, what their investigations are going through, because again, that's also Scorpio type energy, right? Digging in deep, investigating what really is going on or had gone on. So a lot of these things may come to the surface pretty quickly in the month of January. So that's a lot right there. Now, I want to move on to January 9th. On January 9th, we have a stellium, which is more than 2 planets coming to conjunct. So it's 3. It's Venus, the Sun, and Pluto. And that is at 19 degrees of Capricorn. I'm looking at my notes. And this, to me, feels like it's very Capricorn. Of course, with Saturn in Capricorn now. I think a lot of the things that Jupiter and Scorpio has brought out, then Capricorn is going to say it's time to pay the price, because Capricorn has a lot to do with authority and rules and regulations. And when we see a pileup like this, it's just on one day, on January 9th. Well, we'll feel it for a few days on either side of that. It's about being duty-bound. It's about the boundaries that we have around us. So if Scorpio has opened things up for you and you're feeling a little chaotic, know that you can engage this energy on January 9th and bring in some limitations and some boundaries around what may feel a bit chaotic for you. All right? Doesn't mean that's for everybody, but that can be for some of us. All right, we're going to move on to January 16th. We have the new moon at 26 degrees of Capricorn. So like I just said about being duty-bound and creating boundaries for yourself, this is where set your goals. Every new moon starts a 3-year lunar cycle. where the full moon the new moon that we have on the 16th at 26 Capricorn, 9 months from now, we'll have the first quarter. 9 months after that, the full moon will be at near the same degree, and on and on. So it basically, every new moon starts a beautiful 3-year cycle. So don't miss your opportunity to set goals around the new moon. All right. Look for what time it is in your time zone. What we do is we set goals relating to the Capricorn energy. So it's about boundaries. It's about routine. It's about staying away from the things that we're fearful, but taking one sturdy, strong step towards our goals, setting long-term goals, business goals. And we have that coming up, and I'll talk about that next with the sun moving into Aquarius. But with the new moon in Capricorn, setting goals towards your career or furthering your education, things such as that. And that's what the new moon in Capricorn will do. Well, it won't do anything unless you want to use it, right? They don't do anything to us. And that's January 16th. Now, the next aspect, the next thing I want to talk about is the sun ingressing into Aquarius on the 19th of January. And again, this is where we can start to engage the analytical mind, with shifting out of the previous energy, the Capricorn energy, and now we're moving into Aquarius, so we can get into more of the analytical thinking, because it's very scientific. Emotion is a little bit different with this, and since we've had such emotional moons, and I'll get to the next one, we have a lot of emotions with the moons that we have in January, that it's really not a bad thing that we've got the sun moving into Aquarius now, because it will help ground us and it's a little more analytical, but it's also instinct, because the air energy is about our instincts, but it's intellect as well. If we think too much, we miss out on the instinct. So with this sun in Aquarius for the next month, starting on January 19th, we can feel a little more solid. Some people may go too rigid, but we can feel a little more solid and be a little more analytical than we have been up to now with all this water energy going on. All right? So then we have Mars moving into Sag, and I didn't look the date up, so I'm going to hit pause. January 26th. I hit pause, I had to go find it. When Mars finally gets out of Scorpio, moves into Sagittarius, I like this. This is like, it's fire and fire. So we're going to feel like moving. We're going to feel like traveling. We're going to feel like we're very energetic. It helps us get back into the mood of learning. If you're a college student or somebody who's going back to school, it will help us to really engage that energy over the next 7 weeks so we can get back to exercising. This is great for New Year's resolutions, even though this is at the end of January, but it gives us these opportunities to feel a little more active, since wintertime, we're not always that active, right? And it can do that for us too. And then the final thing is the bookend of January. On the 31st, we have the full moon lunar eclipse, and it is at 11 degrees of Leo. So what are we going to do with that? We're going to focus on being more heart-centered. Leo rules the heart. The full moons show us what we're missing. So we can be more creative and more self-expressive. Find something that you're passionate about and get behind it. The sun in Aquarius, the moon in Leo. This is a great opportunity to step into something new, be creative, and step your vibration up a little bit higher. Get into something that is different for you. Do something as simple as get onto YouTube and just find some of these what are they, megahertz. Oh, I listen to them all the time, and I'm forgetting the name of them. But just listen to that vibrational music and start to raise your vibration. This is a great way to do it. And then if that doesn't interest you, just go and do something different. I know this is a fixed opposition, but it's Leo. And Leo wants us to be passionate about something. If we're oppressing our passion and we're not spending enough time doing the things that we're passionate about and what we want to get our hearts behind, then life is very rigid, and we can get into that rigid energy of the Capricorn that's still in effect, and this rigid Aquarius. So open your heart up, open that heart chakra up, and move into something that's very passionate for you. Again, this is also, it's a full moon eclipse, and again, the moon is very close to us. It's I always say perigee, and it is with us. So we're going to all feel heightened sense of emotion and passion and creativity. Hopefully we're not passionate in the fighting sense, but that's still a way of using passion. All right, guys, babbled long enough. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back next month. And I do have daily videos. So come to my channel. There's a link in here somewhere. So come to my channel and you can watch the daily videos there as well. And thank you very much, and blessings. Namaste.